day 3 in my eyes, so they should be getting picked up soon. And here we go, Direwolves versus Forkidden, the winner into the upper bracket.
Yeah, this is a huge matchup, Yummy. And again, now we don't really need to focus on game differential as much. It's nice to see that we're going to get a little bit more of a, just clean-cut game. Whoever takes the series, they move on to that #1 spot. So game #1, maybe a bit more of a feeling out period than we had seen previously.
It'll be interesting to feel out as viewers how this is going to go. Direwolves, we know they're going to play patient. They're going to send one person forward, go for a solo play and see how it pans out, especially early on in the series. But what I want to see from Forkidden is the opposite. I want them constantly challenging. I want them to be fast. I want them to be looking for passes back like how they did to get a second place in the last event.
Well, we're going to have to find out if they can do that. So far here in this first game, it's been just basically back and forth. Not a lot really going on here. Like we said, a bit of a feeling out period, but maybe Forkidden can try and find something here. They've got a decent offense built together, and a touch from the corner from Super might set something up. No such luck, though. Dire able to keep that one up. Fiber going to send it out to the corner, and this is a little bit more passive than I'm used to out of both of these teams.
Well, at least Forkidden are attempting. They're just going for a couple of double commits, realistically. That's more stopping them from having a sustained or even big setup attack in the end, but they're trying to push forward. They are trying to make that playstyle work in the early stage.
And they're trying their best, but so far, despite both teams trying, no one's been able to find a goal here. 90 seconds into this one, and Direwolves, though, able to make me eat my words. A decent offense built here, but Wildcard not going to challenge that one for a very long time. Yeah, that passive play, Yummy, kind of being the trend here in game #1.
And a large part of that is I think he just wanted Fiber to have more chance on that ball. That's a big demo. That's him. Forkidden get goal 1.
All right, I'm going to need to see this one back because I thought that we were going to be a little bit more prepared. Oh, boy, that's not a great touch out of Wildcard. Yeah, that'll explain that one for sure. Direwolves go down by 1 here 2 minutes in, but the good thing is, Yummy, they have plenty of time to recover.
Even with Wildcard in somewhat of an awkward position, you're still expecting him to get a forward touch there, so that created a situation for Direwolves to not be sure where they need to position. It made it easy for that demo, and I like that the fact that Forkidden were pushing up and we're able to get in position for that. Oh, what is it?
Oh, speaking of in position. Oh, okay, so that's how they're going to score goals in this one. It's just demos only.
I like it. I like Walcott pushing forward. If it's anyone who's going to do it, it is Walcott, known for his demos and known for his dribbles, and he has executed that to perfection.
And there we go, 1-1 here with 3 minutes remaining. This is about as close as we were hoping this one was going to be. I'm hoping it stays this way throughout the series because right now it kind of just feels like back and forth, neither team really picking up momentum. Maybe one of them can find that during the back half of this game. It could be Forkidden as they find an awkward defense out of Direwolves. Misty, though, it's a good clear and it'll buy some time for his team, but Direwolves still locked into their half for now.
Oh, scrub, just misreading the backboard. If he'd got the perfect read on that one, read the angle, which is very difficult, he would have beaten the defender to that ball and probably been able to find the angle. So Direwolves going to be breathing a sigh of relief as they were able to get up to that ball first.
They're breathing a sigh of relief, and now they're also finding some confidence. Shot after shot ripping on target here, but Forkidden holding strong for now. Not allowing a single goal in, but that's a double commit that I don't think is going to help them out whatsoever. Dire now able to set up out of midfield. Maybe they can get a shot, but Fiber, no one there to assist him. He gets a decent touch in the corner, and no one else seems to follow it up.
Even still, Walcott is solo playing forward, and that's the confidence that we don't normally see from Walcott. If he's having a good day, then usually Direwolves are getting a lot of room in that forward half.
Oh, 100%. It's really dependent, I would say, on Walcott on the day. Like you said, his confidence has been able to lead this team to many impressive victories before, but it also does kind of feel like there's a couple of teams and a couple of players that have those quiet moments and they struggle to break out of them. I've seen that a lot from Direwolves. I gotta hope that they don't do that here today, but the good thing is they haven't necessarily crumpled in game #1. 80 seconds left, and we're still out of 1-1 ball.
That's the problem with Fiber. We're expecting him to be that young gun, the kind of efforts like OCE. He's the one that is normally having so much impact when he's on the ball, but Forkidden have consistently challenged him every single time he's close to it.
Forkidden doing a really good job at playing that nuisance playstyle we know and love. It can make players incredibly uncomfortable, and unfortunately for Fiber, it has made him a little bit uncomfortable here in game one. Maybe he can redeem himself here. Cross-court jump into this one. Might be able to find a pass. No such luck. Cut off by Super, but Walcott is there to keep it alive. With underneath a minute remaining, if Forkidden give up a goal here, that's the end of the game. But similarly, if Direwolves do on this counterattack, that would be detrimental for them.
Getting very close here in game number one. And Forkidden, despite their early performance, it felt like they've not had too many offensive chances, and that favors Direwolves. They'll be happy to go for a counterattack. They'll be happy to play a close game and try and win by just one goal.
Well, whoever's going to take it at this point, I have a feeling is going to take it by one goal with only 20 seconds left. It's going to be possibly in overtime here in game number one. And let's Scrub can set up his teammate. No such luck. And wait a minute, this is open. Fiber, let's do it. And yes, it's in. Fiber barely able to on the line. That was way too close.
How does he find the angle? He was so close to the backboard. Had to get it past Super Lucky as well. And he sunk it to get Direwolves the lead.
Hey, listen, you call his name, he will deliver. Fiber showing up when it counts the most, and with 7 seconds left, it's looking like Direwolves might just take game number one, but Forkidden, this is a good kickoff, and it's going to stay up. Is anyone there for the follow-up? No! Direwolves will spike this one to the ground, and in the narrowest of fashions, Yummy, they take game number one.
And that was the most Direwolves-esque victory you could ever see. They keep it close. They just managed to get one huge goal, and I've seen that over and over again. Fiber scoring a goal in the last 10 seconds to secure a game.
That's pretty big for them here, especially considering that it's Fiber in particular doing that. Like we said, he needed to come alive, and boy howdy did he do exactly that. And another player coming alive, Walcott. We said he was instrumental to this team, and he did exactly that. 2 assists on this game, getting 2 demos for the team as well, the only demos for the side. It did really feel like Walcott was facilitating this offense.
Yeah, let's ignore the left-hand side, the very left-hand side of the score sheet, and look over at Forkidden. Banana Head, he was so aggressive in that early half. He was challenging really well. I think they got a bit scared off by their own double commits, because all of a sudden they stopped doing that because they were worried probably that it would lead to goals in their own end, but it also stopped the challenges from coming out.
Yeah, it definitely was an interesting sort of, I'd say, dynamic at this point. It feels like Forkidden did have a good strategy at times, but when it started to crumple, it really just kind of fell apart. Like you said, those double commits really started to scare them because they realized how quickly he was going to punish them. So I gotta hope they can go into the second game with a little bit more confidence. It felt like they started off with confidence, but as time went on, it started to dissipate.
I spoke with Super Lucky as well yesterday in an interview, and he was talking about their off-season scrims being a little bit worse for wear because they moved back to their own sort of slow play, solo play heavy, defense heavy play style, and it wasn't working for them. And it's feeling like right now they haven't solidified their play style. They're a little bit all over the place and inconsistent with how they want to push forward.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if they can find that consistency. Again, this is kind of what we were talking about last split, is that we really want to see them become not just a team that pops off on the day, but does this on a regular basis. So I got to hope that they can do that here. It's not going to be an easy task, especially against a team like Direwolves, but at least we can get a close series here. Forkidden, it's up to you guys. Game number 2 here, and I have to say, Yummy, I don't like their chances if Direwolves go up 2-0 here.
Especially, you know, when you speak of pop-off, it's this guy, Misty.
Woo!
He almost scores that goal, who's got this big pop-off potential for Direwolves. Every now and again, he Misty peaks, and we see him absolutely slay. If he does that this game, it might be lights out for Forkidden.
They might be lights out for Forkidden, but so far they have survived. 30 seconds into this one, and oh boy, this could be an issue. No such luck. Scrub barely able to keep this one out of the corner, but Yummy, this is looking pretty similar to game number 1. The pressure from Direwolves is immense.
Well, it's looking more like that later part. It's a continuation, because early on in game 1, Forkidden had all that pressure, and now Direwolves feels like they've figured it out. Their rotations are solid. You can see Fiber back, waiting in case Banana Head beats the man. He's actually managed to beat 2, so that's going to give Scrub an opportunity, and it doesn't find the angle.
Not quite able to find anything here within this first minute, but not for a lack of trying. It does seem like Forkidden have found that confidence and are really starting to get into this one. That may not be the best touch, though. Scrub might have just given up the end of that offense, but at least Banana's there to not do anything. Misty gonna send this one the other way, and that's a bit unfortunate. Forkidden finally finds some offense, but it's extremely short-lived.
Oh, Misty just jumping there, just a slight threat of a potential challenge forced Forkidden to use a lot of boost, and that's what it's been in this game so far, a real boost battle. Neither team really focusing on the shots, and that's a demo, that's another open, now with a fake coming out from Forkidden.
I think, what, 3 out of the 4 goals we've seen so far here have been demo plays?
Goal.
Oh my god, super lucky. That's just not allowed here. I mean, hey, listen, fakes are fun to watch as well. Probably not for the team that gets faked on, but yeah, it's entertaining.
I love that from Forkidden with the demo as well, just to open up the net. And that was a really creative play. That's what we want from young mechanical players like this.
Oh, 100%. You love to see the creativity, and, well, I gotta say, Forkidden's probably loving it as well here. They finally find themselves a little bit of a lead 2 minutes into game number 2, and like we mentioned before, they need this win, Yummy. It's not crucial, I would say, but it's definitely not gonna be a good scenario if Forkidden go down 2-0 in the series. So far, they're looking like they might not. 2 minutes into this one, good offense building, and Direwolves looking a little bit uncomfortable on defense.
Yeah, that's going to be where they might struggle the most against the demo plays. With Forkidden playing aggressively in their face, they usually slow it down, Direwolves, and that makes them a bit easier to demo in those moments, and it makes it harder for that second man without the momentum to be in goal in time for the next shot.
Question is can they start getting a little bit more prepared? Apparently, Direwolves cannot. Shots rip on target, and Scrub finds a second for Forkidden.
That's great. That's just speed from Scrub, and that's what we want from him. He's just pushing forward, he's confident, and he gets a quick shot. It's actually surprising that Direwolves weren't ready for it.
It's a little bit surprising, but unfortunately for Direwolves, they seemingly have been surprised on repeat right now. A lot of these goals feeling not uncontested, but just unprepared. So it's a little bit uncharacteristic of Direwolves at this point, but it's also kind of what we expected out of Forkidden. A shaky game 1 that didn't look bad, but once they get into their form, they are a very lethal threat.
Well, this is actually a chance as well. What an angle! That's in! Misty with a monster double!
I'm sorry, what? Misty, there's no way! The angle slimmer than a piece of paper! 2 minutes remain and Direwolves finally get on the board.
Oh, he's shredded Forkidden right there, left them in the dust. And this is just a way for Direwolves to get back in. That's got to really boost morale.
Oh, I have to imagine it's going to boost morale, and maybe it can boost them to a victory here. Again, Direwolves are looking for that 2-0 here to try and give them a little bit extra comfort going to the back half of the series. Oh, but they're going to need to touch the ball if they want to do that. Misty has to recover and try to find some sort of clear, but Scrub's going to keep this offense going. Super up for this one. No such luck, but maybe Banana on the follow-up. He's got a shot here. Can't get the touch, and can anybody get the touch? Fiber finally clears it, but what an awkward play.
Oh, he just ran out of boost, Banana Head, and that was what would have just get him across the line. He just needed a few more in the tank. They will still have this 1-goal lead, and maybe even a chance here. You see Scrub is circling for the demos, gets the touch instead, gets another bump. It's opened up, Banana Head finds it. They go back to a 2-goal lead.
It's a bit unfortunate for Direwolves, especially considering how this one developed. You can see the panic set in as soon as that ball came out of the corner, and they never really were able to scramble back to a solid defense. That's a bit unfortunate for Forkidden here now, 3-1. It looks like they have shaken off the nerves of game number 1. I'm not saying Direwolves are out of this one, Yummy, but this is definitely not the Direwolves we saw in that first game.
It's looked good at moments, and when they've kept possession, they've been able to do very well in terms of stealing boost away. But Forkidden are constantly getting quick counterattacks. They're looking for each other a lot better this game, and that makes it so much more harder for Direwolves to do anything when they've got the boost advantage. Oh, what a save.
Oh my word. Well, at least Direwolves are able to make a couple of good saves here. They may need to make a couple more and, well, get some shots with it as well. 45 seconds left here. Not a bad performance out of Direwolves by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not going to be enough. We said this before. Forkidden, when they play at their peak, they are a very threatening team, and it does seem like they're getting back to that peak, Yummy. The consistency that we were wondering about, they're starting to kind of answer those questions.
Oh, Super Lucky almost found goal number 4. They managed to keep Direwolves pinned in. And that's, again, good signs. That's kind of the play style they just want to play throughout, and that's how you keep on a 2-goal lead. Though now only one, and once again a chance here for Direwolves.
Direwolves, you gotta stop doing this, tugging on our heartstrings in the last couple seconds of this game. 14 left, and all of a sudden there is a chance. I mean, they basically need a kickoff though, right?
They've got 14 seconds, and with an extra bit of time in the air, I think that's not out of the question. With the demos coming out from Fiber at the same time, that's going to be huge for Direwolves if they're able to get to the other end, but that's not the touch they need. It's going to be very difficult to get it to the other end and get a goal from here.
That's a little bit unfortunate, and now Forkidden will indeed secure themselves this win. I say unfortunate, but honestly for myself, I'm kind of happy with this. It means we get a close series. This is what we were hoping for. Both of these teams are extremely capable, and now they're finally starting to show that.
Well, it's changed to 3-1 for Super Lucky. I think that shows the level of confidence that they have. I mean, Super Lucky in particular felt like he performed quite well in that game. And Scrub too. Really like to see him pushing up the pitch, playing as fast as he can. He's the guy, I think, that adds the most pace to Forkidden.
Oh yeah, I would agree 100%. It really does feel like Forkidden, when they've got that speed, it's because Scrub is doing a good job at just kind of setting the tone here. And I think that's something that Forkidden did a really good job of here in Game 2 in comparison to Game 1. The first game, it kind of felt like momentum was going back and forth. Each team trying their play style. Forkidden set the pace here and just never let go in this one. You can even see it from that play. When you're expecting Mach 7 speeds, a single fake like that can change the whole game.
And Scrub just playing that one fast was important too, because Walcott, now that we see it again, Walcott was worried a lot about his backboard at the same time. So he immediately went up, hoping to cover that and making sure that Misty might be able to cover behind it. Despite that awesome goal from Misty, Direwolves weren't able to rally back.
Not quite able to, but maybe they can do so here in Game 3. Again, it does kind of feel like Direwolves are still relying on that pop-off potential, though. While Forkidden, a team that usually has those pop-off plays, are playing like a trio, it kind of feels like Direwolves are waiting on one person to be that catalyst. Game 1, you could give it to either Fiber or Walcott. Walcott with the 2 assists, Fiber with the 2 goals. The second game, yeah, you can give it to Misty, but they can't just be alternating like this. I mean, they need a little bit more consistency. They've proven it at this point. So I gotta hope that Direwolves and Forkidden can continue to show this prowess going into the back half of the series, because a little bit of a break like that can sometimes reset the teams. But we're back on the pitch now. Direwolves versus Forkidden. Winner of this one goes up on to match point. So this is a pretty important game.
This is huge. Very, very big. Especially, again, now that they know that Ground Zero aren't in the upper bracket, getting in that upper bracket all of a sudden becomes that more important. And that little bit of a break might give some breathing room here for Direwolves to reset their playstyle, or maybe for Super Lucky to lose his warmth, and Misty finds the net.
All right, well, Misty picking up where he left off. He had the last goal for Direwolves, and, well, now he has the last goal again. 1-0 here within about 30 seconds, and, Forkidden, we said you needed to show some consistency. That ain't it.
We know that Super Lucky played well in the last game, so just needs to get those fingers warmed up once again. Shouldn't take too long. It wasn't that long of a break. The Direwolves getting that first goal. They are a team that can hold on to a lead. They can choke out an offense, choke out the midfield as well. So they may be able to just keep this game pretty close and make sure that they stay on that 1-goal lead.
Ooh, you gotta hope that they're gonna keep this one close. Direwolves trying to fight exactly against that, going for even more offense so far here within this first minute. Forkidden not backing down quite yet. I'm glad to see that they haven't just let the momentum completely fizzle away from them. I do want to see some better shots. Again, that's what really elevated them in that last game. It was the fact that Forkidden really did play like a team, and usually they're a pop-off team. So I like this adjustment, but they need to have some confidence. A minute gone here, and so far we've only seen one real shot out of Forkidden.
Just watching Scrub, he's playing so aggressively, always push forward. In fact, he didn't rotate at all throughout that entire play. He was constantly in front, waiting for the redirect, trusting his teammates to get it forward. So that puts a lot of threat on Direwolves in this situation, and it's completely open. That's going to be a goal. Forkidden tie it up.
Oh, and there we go. Forkidden do try and keep in this one. I like that they're not going to let the momentum get away from them. I also like the pass here. I also do appreciate that Super did come zooming after that. He didn't even want to give up that goal. He wanted it for himself. Well, Forkidden, you're going to have to just take that one no matter what. 1-1 here with about 80 seconds gone. Question is whether or not Forkidden can run with this momentum. They've already got another offense together.
Direwolves really played off that pass a bit too hard. Very strong intercept coming out from Super Lucky, and that's left Direwolves back on that draw situation. They're going to have to push up once again, find that goal. The Super Lucky waiting in the wings. You can see how much pressure they're putting on just by being in threatening positions.
They're doing a good job of making Direwolves uncomfortable again, something we hinted at in that last game, but it never really came to fruition for Forkidden. This game, it's looking a little bit more of a viable strategy here. They're really putting the pressure on the Direwolves and making them make some touches that you normally wouldn't see. Good example right there. 2 players on the wall that go for the pass back out of mid, but by that point, they've given up all the momentum on offense. So Forkidden really making their opponents uncomfortable and then abandoning defense. Easy goal for Direwolves.
That's going to be the problem with Forkidden, still trying to figure out that play style. It does mean that they're committing too many members forward, and Walcott is so good at intercepting.
Walcott really has been, like we said, just instrumental to this offense. He's been integral in almost every play. Even if he's not directly scoring the goal, when Walcott's on this offense, Direwolves are on as a whole. And that's evident by this game here. 2.5 minutes gone. We're on the back half of this game, and Direwolves seem to have found their confidence again. But that can be erased within a moment's notice. Forkidden back on the prowl, trying to find themselves an equalizer.
Ooh, Walcott snuck that past everyone. It almost crossbarred and in. Now Fiber over to Misty, but all set up by Walcott. That was a very threatening play.
Let's see, though. Can we find something a little bit more threatening here on either side? If Direwolves can get a goal at this point, I'm not going to say it's the dagger, but my oh my, is it going to allow them to just carry confidence into what could be game point for them? And similarly for Forkidden, if they can get a goal right here, it could be massive for their comeback potential, but no such luck. 100 seconds left, and once again, Forkidden not quite able to find the net.
That's a good spawn by Scrub right behind the ball. Otherwise, Forkidden may have struggled, but they may still. Misty just zooming the shot in.
But it's not going to find the back of the net. And again, Direwolves not necessarily looking for a goal here, but they'd love it to kind of secure themselves and give them a little bit of safety. Walcott trying to do exactly that, but no such luck. Back to the other end, and Forkidden still trying to get an offense together.
The Direwolves now with a chance, with an opening, and Misty, that was free.
Completely free, and I'm a little bit confused. I saw Scrub was back. Oh, he went for boost.
And he missed it.
Yep. Hey, listen, I feel I've done that many times in my games before, but I've also C2, so, you know, maybe not something that can happen at this rank.
It definitely shouldn't, but Forkidden are very, very reliant on boost, especially Scrub, so not too surprising to see. Now, Direwolves, very commanding position. They are a team, as I said, that like to hold on to a lead, and see how they manage to do it, whether it's going to be from a defense or whether they'll try and push it up and keep solidly challenging.
I think that right now we're starting to see a lot of those solid challenges, these aggressive challenges, and while they're working out for Direwolves because they're playing a good 3-man rotation, that rotation we talked about in Game 2 has kind of gone out the window for Forkidden. We're seeing a lot of overlapping. Good example right there is 2 players both commit out at midfield for the same ball. I think it's the pressure at this point. Forkidden are looking a little bit nervous, so I gotta hope as we go into game number 4 here, they can settle those nerves and find us a game number 5, because as it stands right now, Direwolves all over this ball.
Yeah, just a little bit shaky mechanically as well from Forkidden, and that's the opposite of what you normally expect. They can be shaky playstyle-wise, but normally expecting them solid commitment on the ball, but there's no commitment to the ball if you're dead.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. Fiber not actually picking up the assist on that one, but Fiber, I'm going to give you the assist anyways. Picking up a not hat-trick, playmaker technically, if he gets credited for that one, because Fiber has been all over this field, whether it's actually scoring, being integral to this offense. I keep saying this because it feels like Direwolves recognize they don't all need to score. They just need to set each other up. They're consistent enough that they can continually find goals like this, and my oh my, have they done that here in game number 3. 4-1 victory for Direwolves, by far their most impressive of the night.
It was great. I think Direwolves starting to find that consistency. They're forcing some mistakes out as well by always having a little bit of a person a little bit closer to the play, and usually that's Misty. I mean, sure, he's got a lot of the goals, but his most important impact was actually consistently being in areas that made Forkidden have to rush to be able to beat him. And sometimes he was just still beating them to the ball. Other times, Forkidden were just missing because they had to rush.
Yeah, it was really panicked on Forkidden. I think rush is by far the best word we could use here, because it just kind of felt odd. I don't know what else to really use besides that, because Forkidden, a team that do usually play aggressive, are usually pretty solid at least getting 50-50s or some sort of contest on the ball. There's a great example. Super Lucky missing that one on the wall. It's just not what you expect out of this Forkidden team.
Yeah, and a miss like that is also catching Scrub off guard. Like, he's not playing for the miss. He's pushing up, even from that third man position, into an area where he can move forward quick enough to be able to turn it into attack, and then all of a sudden it's over the top of his head. That's why it looks so easy. Scrub again, probably playing the same position there. Maybe a bit too much trust in these scenarios. Always expecting that your teammate's going to hit. And I think once again, Scrub was expecting Super Lucky to get that one, and he caught himself off guard.
I wonder if this is kind of the repercussions of that game number 2. Again, usually
Expected results, but it's showing how close everyone is, and this is the match we're all waiting for to see who's going to be versing those guys.
I will be honest, if we were talking about upsets going into this day, I definitely didn't think it was going to be one of the two teams that went to major to get upset here. But, hey, listen, you never really know. And, well, we don't know what the outcome of this game is either. Direwolves trying to close this one out in 4, Forkidden trying to hang on and stay alive. The good thing is for both these teams, though, Yummy, no matter what, they're at least both making playoffs.
They both are, and I expect whoever does lose is at least going to get top 8. I think they will still win that first round of the lower bracket, but that's not going to be a consolation prize, especially with, I think, winnable series for them up in those upper brackets. We'll see how that goes, but I think that gives extra motivation for getting up there.
Oh yeah, 100%. Again, with ground zero going out of that top 4, the motivation for all of these teams has got to just multiply on top of itself. And well, Direwolves seem to understand that. They're really fighting to get a goal here within this first minute. Forkidden holding on for dear life and doing a good job at that. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Again, Direwolves, once they get that pressure, they really build.
And this puts all that much more nerves on these guys. And Forkidden, I feel like, haven't been truly tested under the nerves. There were no real nerves needed for that Event 3 result. I feel like if they're nervous, they're not going to be able to play their playstyle that they want.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think nerves really are a big thing, especially for these rookie teams. The question is whether or not they can try and handle it, as they do find at least a little bit of confidence here in game number 4. So far, 90 seconds into it, no one's been able to score, but it also kind of feels like the pace of play is broken down a bit.
It certainly has, but some of that is going to go to the advantage of Forkidden. Oh, they almost found the angle. It's going to be Super Lucky. He can't get it. He's going to bounce it, and that's Super Lucky scoring the first for Forkidden.
Oh my gosh, I got so nervous for them. Could you imagine if that had gone out? That would have been the absolute heartbreaker for Forkidden. But luckily enough, they find the lead here, and that is big, especially considering how shaky of a game they had in game number 3.
Forkidden have had to work so hard for their goals, and if that one didn't go in, that was troublesome. The thing I know is their webcams, they're not celebrating as hard as they normally do. They're not going that hype mode, and I don't know if that's a conscious decision, or whether they're just trying to play it a bit more chill.
I wonder if it is a conscious decision at this point. It could just be, like you said, a little bit subconscious of trying to find that comfort on the pitch. I have to imagine Forkidden are at least a little bit comfortable here. They're getting some decent offense, shots on target, but they can't hit the back of the net. Maybe Banana can set up his teammate Super, fake out on the line, and he will get that through for Forkidden with a nice goal.
Ruined. That is savage. He's absolutely destroyed him. Oh, Forkidden. Super Lucky fakes out one over the top of the other, and that's going to get him a 2-goal lead.
I know you're going to hate it, Yummy, but I think that's one of the only times I can say this. Sheesh! What a goal in front of the line. Forkidden going to find themselves up 2-0 here, fighting for that game number 5. Direwolves, they still have a chance of this one, but this is by far the most passive they have looked all series.
I can report to you guys that he didn't put his fingers on his arm, so it wasn't as cringe as it could have been. But Direwolves fight back, and they've got a patented infield passing play coming out.
All right, maybe that's my fault there. I sheeshed a little bit too hard, and Direwolves heard it all the way on their broadcast here, as they are now finally getting back into this game. Forkidden came out swinging, but Direwolves finding a couple of jabs here. Now with 2 minutes remaining, they're still trying to close this one out in 4. As much as I do want to see Direwolves play well here, though, Yummy, I'm kind of hoping for a game number 5.
I think it's incredibly likely, though. 5 almost goes the top. There's going to be an opening. It's confusion in the net of Forkidden, and Direwolves capitalize.
Okay, I was correct on that one. I thought that net was open, which it was. Fiber almost completely ruining that one, as he probably could have just let that bounce in. Luckily enough, though, Direwolves will find the goal, and they will pause the game. Interesting. I wonder what this is for.
Maybe one of the Forkidden members was unable to get back. Maybe that's why it was open. I thought it was a potential overcommit, and so I think both of them are incredibly happy to not up against ground zero if they win. And we are back into it. Looks like Scrub's AFK again. Oh no, this is just a disaster.
That's a little bit unfortunate. I have a feeling this goal might be turned back around. We're going to only have to find out after we get through this replay here. Yeah, there's the pause. I have a feeling this will be run in their last split. Only time will tell. But now, speaking of time, we finally get back from the break, and Scrub is moving. Yummy, I think we are underway here in game.
He did another computer reset, and hopefully that's fixed the issue. We've also reset 2-2 because Scrub was not able to move throughout that entire previous play that happened after the break, but it doesn't matter. They already look like they're shaken up.
I'm a little bit scared. Again, the big reason that Forkidden were giving up goals before this was due to these counterattacks where Direwolves just found them with a weak defense and just unprepared back end. So Direwolves definitely going to try and go for that same strategy here with about 75 seconds left, and Forkidden are going to have to be aware. Another shot, barely ripping off, and again, another open net.
Direwolves, they've picked up the pace after this break. They've been able to keep Forkidden on their back foot over and over again, and that's great rotations coming out from Fiber.
This is a good game so far here out of Direwolves, and again, after such a long break, you're kind of wondering who's going to find that momentum. It seems to be Direwolves here, and for Forkidden, that is not a good thing. They have a minute left, otherwise, they got to fight through that lower bracket, and as much as I have faith in Forkidden to do so, only 2 out of 8 teams make that top 6. So my oh my, Forkidden, you really don't want to even be put in that scenario.
There from Wildcard after the demo on his teammate. He's always willing to cover the net, and that makes it more likely that you need to get 2 demos for Forkidden or a much quicker play if you want to be able to score on Direwolves in these situations.
And they're trying their best, but unfortunately they're pressed back into their own half, and Misty's got a ripper on target. That might be GG.
These backboard touches have been fired off, and it makes it so hard for Forkidden to get out and challenge before the Direwolves member can get it, where it just falls into that Direwolves member lap. A 2-goal lead. It's all fallen apart and 30 seconds left. I don't know if Forkidden can make the rally.
I gotta hope that they can here. Again, we really did want to see Forkidden pop off and show us the potential we've been mentioning so many times on stream. But as we get more double commits and more panic touches on the back end here, I think this one is all but wrapped up. Good game all around, Yummy, but Direwolves showing that veteranship once again.
Yeah, they really, every single time it came from break, they really hunkered it down. They looked just as good as beforehand, and that's really difficult in Rocket League when you know that context switch. So much of the game is subconscious, is purely mental, that so many resets can really get to you. So Direwolves showing their experience. They go through to the upper bracket. They're gonna take on Wildcard tomorrow for a potential guaranteed top 3.
That would be huge for them. Direwolves have been fighting to get past that top 3-4 spot for quite some time, and if they can guarantee themselves at least 3rd, that is massive for